and welcome to Self-Love Masterclass, where each week we explore new ways to develop our self-esteem, our self-worth, and inner wisdom so that we can create and manifest the life of our dreams. My name is Renee Mullings-Lewis. I'm a self-love teacher, a coach, a doula, and a Reiki master. Thank you for being here, and thank you to all of you who come here and watch these videos each week. Today we're talking all about how to not compare ourselves to other people. And what inspired this class or this video today was an article or a blog that I got from a very close friend of mine. And it was all about, people who are new entrepreneurs and how they often get into this sort of funk because they're looking at what other people are doing, questioning, whether they're doing it right. I know it's something that I dealt with for a little while when I first started my business, and also, growing up and, going through school and university and stuff like that. But I also know that it's something that a lot of clients that I work with even now struggle with. And it doesn't matter if what we're talking about is entrepreneurship or being a mom or just, what you're doing with your life or your career. And even in some cases, for some people, it's like, about properties or, assets and stuff like that. Part of the reason why I felt this video was so important this week is because what a lot of us don't realize is that when we are constantly comparing ourselves to other people, what it does is it lowers our self-esteem. Not only that, it causes us to be someone who has a tendency to be more resentful towards ourselves as well as other people. When we're comparing ourselves to other people, it sucks the life out of us. We feel tired, we feel cranky, moody, we get into more fights with our loved ones, and it decreases our productivity and really, quite honestly, ruins the relationship that we have with ourselves. I actually believe that when, we're doing a lot of comparing or there's a lot of comparison going on in our day-to-day, it is usually masking a much deeper issue, which is either low self-esteem or the fact that we really don't feel good enough at whatever it is we're doing or whatever it is we're comparing ourselves in. You can always sort of tell when someone's really not feeling so good about themselves or when their self-esteem is taking a bit of a hit because they are super crazy obsessed with comparing themselves to other people. A tendency that we have, for example, is, going on Facebook and scrolling through the newsfeed and comparing ourselves to other people, whether it's, their families, their lifestyle, their houses, their homes, or on Instagram, we see a lot of comparison and people talking about comparing themselves to what they see on Instagram. The reality is that when we feel good about ourselves, when we really love ourselves and we have a high sense of self-love and self-worth happening, we really just don't even have the desire to compare ourselves to other people. Like it actually kind of seems weird to compare ourselves to other people. Because we're more interested in just being ourselves. But in the meantime, not comparing ourselves to other people actually allows us to feel better about ourselves, increase our self-esteem, and so, create a better relationship with ourselves. We maximize self-love this way. Okay, so now that we have a better understanding of how comparison actually affects our self-esteem and the many ways in which it diminishes the relationship that we have with ourselves or takes self-love away from us, now what I'd like to do is I'd like to jump into the tips on how to actually stop this vicious cycle and stop comparing ourselves to other people. Tip number 1 is give yourself a reality check. And what I mean by this, and I always say this to my clients, and I think I posted this on Instagram one day, is it's really important for us to not compare our real life to other people's controlled online content. A lot of times when you're looking at things on Facebook or looking at things on Instagram, you really are only seeing 5 to 10% of that person's life. So it's really not fair to yourself to compare yourself to that other person or whatever it is you're seeing, because you just don't know the whole story. The other thing is, even if it's people in your life, people that you think you're close to, you can't compare yourself to them either, because as much as you think that you know them, you really don't know everything about them. And so there are often times when what you see as the truth or what is real or whatever you're witnessing looks a particular way, doesn't always seem or feel the same way to the person that you're comparing yourself to. Tip number 2 is make a list of the wins and the things that you have. A really great exercise that I like to do is I will actually write out on paper and stick it on my windows or on my fridge, just all of the amazing things that I've accomplished in a set period of time. You know, it really helps you to see, hey, I'm actually accomplishing things, I'm progressing, and I'm doing things. And when you're very present to the things that you are doing and the things that you have, you're so much less likely to go and look outside of yourself to try to compare yourself to someone else. Tip number 3 is develop an attitude of gratitude. And I know that people talk about gratitude all the time, but it really, really is important. Now, if you want to know how to develop gratitude in your life, you can go and look at last week's video. I'll also have it linked somewhere here in this video so that you can go and check the video out. But gratitude is very, very important. What we know about gratitude is that the more you practice being grateful, the happier you are with yourself in your life. And of course, if you're happier with yourself in your life, you're building that awesome relationship with yourself, which is what self-love is all about. You are so much less likely to even want to compare yourself to anyone else. Tip number 4 is make a rule, okay? Make a rule to only compete against yourself. And this is something that I've offered to a lot of my clients. I've told them, you know, you want to strive for success, you want to acquire certain things. That should be because that's what you really want, that's a self-expression for you, that's what really inspires you. Not because somebody else is doing it, or it looks like that's what everyone in the industry is doing. Really only measure yourself up against yourself. You want to know that you are stronger, healthier, more efficient, more productive, or whatever than you were before, not than somebody else's. Okay, and tip number 5 is easily my favorite tip, and I think the tip that made the biggest difference for me in my personal life, and it's the tip that really I think makes the biggest difference for most of my clients, and it is be yourself. Ugh, I feel so good just saying that. When you are being yourself, you have no desire to compare yourself to other people because you are unique. The way that you see the world, the way that you experience the world, the way that you want to put things together, the way that you want to market yourself, the way that you want to love your friends, the way that you want to contribute to the world. No one has the exact mixture or recipe that you have. So the more you're truing yourself up to yourself, the less interested you become naturally in looking at what other people are doing, because they have no idea who you are and they're not like you. The only person that you can look to source or get information from or inspiration from to be the best version of you is you. And this is also something that's super important when it comes to self-love. You know, the more, pardon me, the more authentic you're being, the more you're being, the more things just naturally come out and things just naturally flow. And again, you're so busy like being happy and living your life and doing what feels right and being in your flow that you have no time or interest in what other people are doing. So this is why I think this tip is my favorite and the one that I think turns everything around. So if you can master any of these 5, this one is the big one. Also, I recommend if you struggle with being yourself that, you speak to someone, either a therapist, a psychotherapist, a counselor, or someone like myself, a coach, who can actually have you figure out, what is blocking you or what is in the way of you being your true self so that you can just let it rip and rock your life. I hope that these tips have been very helpful for you. It's been such a pleasure doing this video. And if you really like this video, then give this video a thumbs up and share it with your friends and family. I think, all of us struggle with going through phases or stages of our life where we compare ourselves to each other, and the more information we pass around or the more stories we share about this stuff, the more all of us can just get on with being ourselves and being happy, which is what I think we all really want anyway, right? If you're not already following me on Instagram, please come over and do that. My Instagram handle is @ModernDayWiseWoman. It's all capitals and all one word. I also have another Instagram account that we're developing right now. It's called Wise Woman Mantras, and if you like short snippets of self-love inspiration, then that's a good account to follow as well. Last but not least, if you're not already subscribed to this YouTube channel, then please do that. I come out with new self-love masterclasses and videos every single Tuesday. Sometimes they're posted a little early on a Monday for early birds who like to get them soon, but you don't want to miss it. Also, if you have a video request, then you can leave that in the comments and I will do my best to make videos that you guys ask for. All right, so it has been such a pleasure doing this video for you all. I will see you all next week and have yourselves a beautiful rest of the day. Mwah.